You know, it's funny how sometimes you think you've seen everything in a category, especially like vintage-inspired stuff,
Mhm.
and then something comes along that's just genuinely clever. Makes you pause and go, wait a minute, what was that?
Exactly. And that's just what we're getting into today. We're
Uh-huh.
doing a deep dive on the Nevada Grenchen Aquamar.
Okay.
It's a brand, well, it has this really rich history, making a serious comeback.
Uh-huh.
And this watch, it's got this unique twist, this differentiator that's actually brilliant.
Right. So our mission today is basically to peel back the layers on this one. We'll look at Nevada Grenchen's story, how they came back.
Yep.
We'll dig into the Aquamar itself, the design, the specs, and most importantly, figure out this surprising feature everyone's talking about. Think of this as your shortcut to getting why this watch is turning heads.
I'm good.
So, okay, let's start with the brand. Nivada Grenchen.
Yeah.
They popped back up in 2020, right? And they've kind of become this, whisper network favorite for vintage dive watch fans.
Yeah, it's a bit of an if you know, you know situation.
Exactly. They do these great accessible reeditions of their old tool watches, mostly from the 50s to the 70s.
Well, the backstory is pretty cool. Nevada Grenchen actually started way back in 1926. They built a reputation for being tough, reliable.
Mm-hmm.
Like their Antarctic watch from 1950, that was their first automatic waterproof piece. And get this, it was tested by the U.S. Navy during Operation Deep Freeze 1.
Wow, really? To the South Pole?
Yep, 1955 to 56. And just like, Rolex and Tudor were doing back then, Nevada ran newspaper ads with testimonials from the guys who actually wore them in those extreme conditions.
Huh. Proper field testing.
Totally. So they have this incredible archive to draw from for these reissues like the Aquamar. It's not just retro style, there's real history baked in.
That makes sense. So with that kind of rugged heritage, why the Aquamar specifically? I heard it was maybe a lesser-known model from the 60s, known for being a bit more compact.
Yeah, exactly. The Aquamar really captures that mid-century dive watch aesthetic.
Yeah.
It comes in at 38 millimeters in stainless steel, so
Right.
nice and compact by today's standards, but very typical for the 60s.
Right.
But it still feels substantial. It's got a thickness of 12.9 millimeter, and you get a bidirectional rotating bezel, but with a modern touch, a nice, sleek, black ceramic insert.
Okay. Ceramic's a good upgrade.
Definitely. And of course, screw-down crown, screw-down case back. It's rated for 200 meters water resistance, so proper dive watch specs.
Good, solid specs. Any interesting design details?
Yeah, the case finishing's nice, a mix of brushed and polished surfaces. And kind of fun, on the case back, there's an embossed penguin.
A penguin, oh right, nodding back to the Antarctic connection.
Exactly. A little
Yeah.
touch like that.
Okay, so far so good. A well-executed, nicely sized retro diver with real heritage. But you mentioned a twist. This is where it gets different, right? This is the thing that separates it from, the million other vintage divers out there.
This is the kicker.
Yeah.
It's all about the dial, specifically the luminescence, or rather the two-tone luminescence.
Two-tone lume, how does that work?
Okay, so first off, it's protected by a double-dome sapphire crystal, which is nice. The dial itself uses what's called a sandwich construction.
Ah, like Panerai famously does.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
You have the top layer of the dial with the hour markers actually cut out like stencils.
Huh.
Then underneath that, there's a second disc, a lower layer.
Okay.
And that lower layer is fully coated in luminescent material. So the glow shines up through the cutouts in the top layer. Sandwich style stuff so far.
Right.
But, and here's the genius part, that bottom disc, the Lume disc, isn't just one color. It's actually coated with two different colors, or rather tones of superluminova. One part is like a crisp, modern white. The other is a creamy vintage beige.
Whoa. Okay, so how do you switch between them?
This is the really clever bit.
Yeah.
They repurpose the date mechanism. You know how you normally use the crown to change the date wheel? Well, instead of a date wheel clicking over behind a little window, turning the crown in that position rotates this entire two-tone Lume disc underneath the main dial. It acts like a little roulette wheel for Lume color.
No way.
Yeah, so you literally just turn the crown, and you can choose whether the hour markers glow bright white or that warm vintagey beige.
That is genuinely brilliant. It's so simple, but
Oh, yeah.
wow. I read what the CEO, Guillaume Ledet, said about it.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
He said, some days you want that clean desk diver look. Some other days you want the watch from your grandfather with a ton of patina and history. Why choose? One watch, two moods, just twist.
Huh. That sums it up perfectly. One watch, two moods.
It really does. So for you, the wearer, it means you can change the whole vibe of the watch instantly. Clean and modern one day, full vintage patina the next. That's pretty unique. Does that appeal more to vintage guys or new collectors, do you think?
That's interesting. I think it kind of bridges the gap, For vintage folks, it's that mechanical ingenuity, that cleverness, but applied in a new way. For newer buyers, maybe it's just that personalization, that versatility. It's
Yeah,
definitely a talking point.
for sure. Okay, so what's making it tick? What's the movement?
So under the hood, they've gone with a solid, reliable choice. The automatic Soprod P024. It's known for being easy to service, which is always a plus.
Good workhorse movement.
Yeah, exactly. Beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, so you get a nice smooth sweep to the second hand. The only slight, maybe, downside is the power reserve. It's around 38 hours. Pretty standard, but maybe a little on the short side for some these days.
Okay, 38 hours. Not amazing, but fine for a daily wear. And what about straps and the price? How does it stack up?
Plenty of options there. Nivada offers at least 10 different strap or bracelet choices, which is great for getting the look just right. One thing to note, though, that really nice steel beads of rice bracelet, apparently it's currently unavailable. Hopefully that comes back soon.
Ah, okay. Good to know. And the cost.
So if you get it on, say, a rubber strap or leather or a NATO, you're looking at EUR 1,095. If you manage to snag one on a steel bracelet when they're back, it's a bit more, EUR 12,295.
Right, so around that €1,000 mark, give or take, pretty competitive for what you're getting, especially with that unique feature.
I'd say so, yeah. So if you're someone out there hunting for a dive watch that's got, real history, solid build, but also something genuinely different, this Aquamar is pretty compelling. That Lume feature isn't just a gimmick. It's really thoughtfully integrated.
Yeah, definitely. So wrapping this up, thinking about the Nivada Grenchen Aquamar, what really strikes me is how they've used their past, that rich archive you talked about, not just to copy something, but to create something, well, genuinely new in function, or at least in customization. That two-tone loom idea is just inspired.
It really is. It's a fantastic example of leveraging heritage intelligently.
It offers so much versatility in one watch.
And, it leaves you with a bit of a thought, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We live in this age of just endless options, constant new releases flooding the market.
Totally. Overwhelming sometimes.
Right. So maybe true innovation isn't always about adding more choice. Maybe sometimes it's about making a single object, like this watch, more adaptable, more reflective of, our own changing moods or styles.
Well, one watch, two moods.
Exactly. What does that suggest, maybe, about where design could be heading? Making the things we own more fluid, more responsive to us. Something to think about.